The first rain of September fell softly against the windows of the new brownstone apartment complex in Capitol Hill, Seattle. The streets were still glistening from a late summer storm as cars sloshed through the puddles. Maya Carter leaned out her second-story window, a steaming mug of peppermint tea cupped between her hands. The scent calmed her, comfort in a city that still felt foreign. Maya had moved to Seattle from Albuquerque just 2 weeks earlier, chasing a publishing job and the thrill of a fresh start. She was 24, ambitious, and aching for change after a year of stagnant living following her father's death. Her new apartment was modest, but it was hers. The city buzzed with possibilities. It was during one of her early mornings, around 6:30 a.m., when she first saw him. He was in the apartment directly across from hers, separated only by a shared alleyway and a rusted iron fence. He stepped out onto his balcony shirtless, sweat glistening down his back as he finished a set of push-ups. His black hair was wet, probably from a shower, and he seemed to be in his late 20s. As Maya watched from behind her curtain, he glanced up, catching her eye. She jumped back like a guilty teenager. Later that evening, she bumped into him at the mailbox cluster. "Hey," he said with a soft, amused smile, clearly recognizing her. "I think we're neighbors." "I think we are," she replied, slightly embarrassed but intrigued. "I'm Jake. Jake Nolan. Apartment 2B.
Maya.
2A." They stood in silence for a beat. "I've lived here 3 years," Jake added, tossing junk mail into the bin. "Let me know if you need help finding the good coffee places that aren't crawling with tourists." She smiled. "I just might take you up on that." Over the next few weeks, they began to see more of each other. It started with casual hellos, then coffee runs, and eventually grocery trips. Maya learned Jake was a software engineer, quiet but witty, with a love for classic rock vinyls and dogs, though he didn't have one. Maya, in turn, shared her love for vintage poetry, rainy nights, and chocolate-covered almonds. Jake began showing up with small gifts, her favorite tea, a used book from a local store, once even a jar of almond butter for survival during deadlines. One Friday night, after an especially bad day at work, she knocked on his door with a bottle of wine. "I need someone to drink this with me," she declared. Jake didn't hesitate. That night turned into many. Their favorite place became the rooftop of the complex, where they'd sit under string lights and talk about life. From time to time, Jake would brush her arm or laugh a little too hard at her jokes. But he never crossed a line. Then one night, after watching before sunrise curled up on her couch, he kissed her. It was slow, careful, like a question. Maya answered it with both hands around his neck. From that moment, they weren't just neighbors. They were something more, something no one in the building could ignore. Their chemistry was electric. People watched them walk down the street and wondered if they were models or actors. Strangers commented on their glow. They were magnetic. But behind the affection was something Maya couldn't quite name. Jake was kind, generous, but private. He never spoke about his family or past relationships. His phone often buzzed late at night, and he'd step outside to take calls. When she asked, he'd say it was work. Still, she loved him. And she thought he loved her too.